This podcast is part of the Listen Frederick Podcast Network. To learn more, visit listenfrederick.com.
What's up, everybody? It's episode 85 of Beers in the Lot. In Ep 85, we got into the Frozen Four and all the championship tournaments that are going on. Touched on the Isobel Cup and the PHA. And we have a very special shout out towards the end of the episode. Be sure to stick around for it. All right, I'm going to cooler. You want one? Let's crack beers.
Daniel, what are you drinking tonight?
So weirdly enough, I have another Treehouse beer.
Oh,
I didn't know if you guys thought I would have one, but you know. Tonight I'm drinking a Bigger Peach, and it's a American double IPA with hints of peach. It's very good. I had it actually on tap while I was up there. What are you drinking tonight, Riggs?
I clued Aaron in last night after OFBG that my beer selections would become much more diverse. Since my illness, I was not drinking beer, obviously. So there's a lot of leftovers from visits from our friend, again, Brando McGee. So this one is from Nepenthe Brewing Company. Depending on how you pronounce the Greek there. Nepenthe is actually found in the Odyssey, Homer's, not Homer Simpson.
Of Iliad fame.
Yes. So in the Odyssey, Nepenthe is like a drug or a substance used to treat grief, of all things. Ancient Greek poetry, right? This is Cosmic Dubba Beep Weepa Double IPA. Pretty cool. Can art's really awesome. Looks like I don't know what you would call it. Like an animated sort of Greek mythology character on the can art there. It's pretty awesome. So and I believe in our conversation last night, Aaron said that he was going to repeat this week.
I am.
Wow.
So last week, I had a Miller Lite. And this week, I have a Miller Lite. Because you know what? After hockey games, I come out and I have the same beer every week. Multiple of the same beer every week. So I don't care. I tried to actually go get some interesting new beer, and everything is an IPA. You know what? It's come to a head, and there's only IPAs and Miller Lights in the whole world, basically. So I don't care. I'm drinking Miller Lite.
There's only IPAs and Miller Lights in the whole world.
That's how it feels. That's
sure
how it feels to me.
I have a feeling the fine folks from Coors Light are going to call.
Yeah. Great taste, less filling. Miller Lite.
You know what, Aaron? It's a beer. Right?
It's a beer. You know what?
We accept it.
That's the key. So I have another Miller Lite. And I don't care what you have to say about that. John, what do you have this week?
I have Maker's Mark whiskey. I'm done with the expiration dates. I told you. I said that. I'm steadfast. Actually, though, I probably will start getting like some sours and tarts because it's starting to get that time of year, so you'll see them more in the stores and whatnot. And I will be a freaking hawk on the dates. And if there's no date on it, I ain't getting it. So
you shouldn't.
Yeah, I'm not.
Shouldn't.
You should just go to some of the breweries downtown and just get it straight from them.
Absolutely. If you really want the fresh shit, you got to go directly to the source, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or you could just go up to Treehouse and let me know. And then I can go up there too.
I was going to go there, but I'll let you do that since you're the expert.
I'm going to end up with like a wanted poster. Like if this man steps into your liquor store, kick him out immediately. He's going to start looking at dates. Public enemy number one.
Have you seen this man?
right next to Jerry Seinfeld's clown check or whatever. What's the thing?
Clown check.
In the one episode,
you guys are gonna go to like liquor stores around the area, and Eric's gonna be like, "Dude, saw you got kicked out. Like, what do you do? Write a bad check? Jeez." Riggs. So we're a few days out from the Masters. Tiger Woods is currently listed on the Masters website as playing, which is freaking awesome. But also, same time of year, Frozen 4 finally hits. All the seeds are set. We're freaking ready.
Yes, we are ready for the springtime sports season. It is championship season. Masters, Frozen 4, women's Frozen 4 just finished. Congrats to Ohio State on their first NCAA championship, beating Minnesota Duluth, which I was none too happy about. I have a little bit of a soft spot for Duluth for obvious reasons. You can go check out our back catalog to find out why.
Not episode 1, please. It's not that far back.
No, it's not that far back. Let's go back to about August and then listen from there. And we've been watching with great interest the NCAA men's tournament. The games have been super close, super physical. The kids are going all out. Multiple overtimes or overtime games.
Multiple goal reviews.
Oh yeah, like and
my God,
all the stuff that comes along with college hockey, the mismatch clocks, different camera angles available in different buildings for reviews, and all this different stuff that goes on, which is what makes it awesome. The imperfections of hockey is what makes the game awesome. And now we've got our buddy Bright's Minnesota State, Mankato.
Oh yeah,
going into the Frozen Four for his second year in a row. Going in as the national number one. The rankings come out on Mondays. Today's Monday. They were still number one in the country. Michigan, Owen Power, Luke Hughes. Is that the right Hughes?
That's the right Hughes is.
Yep. There's so many now.
I think it's Hughes
finalist too.
But yeah, right. And actually, like, it's funny about Luke Hughes on that team. He doesn't even get that much attention because they have Powers and
Beniers and
Brisson. Like, and those guys are just going great guns, right? And Luke Hughes is just quietly a Hobie Baker candidate on that team. Drive and play, creating chances. So Minnesota kind of screwed me on the bracket. I thought that they were going to lose to Western Michigan. In fact, I picked Western Michigan because I like to pick somebody that I think not everyone else is going to pick. So if I get it right, then I move up in the points, but that didn't work out. But Minnesota did Minnesota things. They have Brock Faber, and he decided to show up finally in the regional final. And the fourth team,
it's Denver with Bobby Brink.
Oh God. So that Denver team,
national scoring leader. I think he has like 56, 57 points, something like that.
That Denver team is scary good. So I actually picked them on my bracket on College Hockey News, which they do like a free deal, and it's associated with Bucci Overtime Challenge. John Butchergross does that, the apparel, and he donates a bunch of the money to different hockey causes, getting kids on the ice and equipment and that kind of stuff. I picked Denver and Mankato in the championship, and Mankato winning. What's going to end up happening is I'm going to lose out on that because Denver is actually going to win, I could see it now just because I picked them because I'm the biggest mooch in these kind of things. So, but nonetheless,
I don't know, man.
the-
Dryden McKay, like goalies
tournament-
in college
yeah,
tournaments always come through.
I get that. I
That's
get
what
that.
scares me. I mean, not in a
It-
bad way, because then Bright's,
they
it's
had
cool
to-
for him.
They had to rely on him to get past Notre Dame, and they should have beat Notre Dame by 3 or 4 goals, I think. Like, Notre Dame's good, but they're not a powerhouse team. You know,
They shouldn't have beat North Dakota, but they did.
Well,
They took it OT.
No, they should have. And they did twice.
One didn't count. Also, yeah, I did think it was funny on the
Didn't count.
broadcast. It was hilarious on the broadcast because after they came back from the third period, Notre Dame, it was shorthanded, right? It was shorthanded in regulation.
Yeah.
I'm doing air quotes because it wasn't regulation.
Yeah.
They put a puck on a rebound in the net. The official clock time was 0. Unofficial clock for, I think it was CBS Sports.
No, it should be
One of the-
ESPN. It
or
was
ESPNU.
tournament. It was tournament. Yeah.
It was ESPNU.
Yep.
It was incorrect, and I felt bad because when they came back for the overtime, broadcast Dave Starman, who Riggs and I met, he had to calm the flames down on social media because apparently people were coming at him like, "Oh, you idiots with your unofficial clock, you guys suck." Like, I saw some of the tweets. Like, some people were like, "Oh, they had it in for North Dakota. This is crap. They cheated them." I'm like, it's an unofficial clock. Like, this isn't like, actually a lot of broadcasts have that, believe it or not. Like ESPN.
Oh yeah, they all.
NFL,
They're not all.
NHL,
hooked,
yeah.
they're not all hooked into the official scorer's time. So the time that you're seeing on the stupid,
On the
thing
ticker.
on top of the screen, is not the official time. It's just the guy in the truck pushing the button, start time, stop time, basically. I think. I mean, maybe we'll figure that out
Or
sometime.
if you're playing beer league, you yell at the scorekeeper, "Time, please stop.
Time!
Clock, please, time."
Which, so yeah, like, what goals in, goals not, what's the official time? It doesn't matter what the broadcast time is. They're going to do all that on the ice. They're going to do that with the officials on the ice. Like, that's not, it doesn't matter what the TV's doing. So whoever's like tweeting or messaging at Dave Starman and the ESPN crew, like, "What's up with your clock?" Like, shut up.
Attacking him.
Shut up. Like, you have no idea what you're talking about.
The only thing that's funny to me, it's like that guy just sitting at home on his computer, like, I would have stopped the time. Like,
Yeah.
I need to get
Yeah.
like that guy.
Yeah.
Like,
He's a bum. He's a bum.
I would have
I
done
know.
better.
I would have done better. Yeah.
But
It's
the
that same
thing-
guy.
But the thing is like, overall, the officiating and the way things have been run in the tournament, considering how close the games have been, has been excellent.
Yeah.
Like, if you take, for example, like the Michigan Quinnipiac regional final game, that was a somewhat like tense game, and both of those teams were going really hard. I actually thought Quinnipiac carried the play more 5v5, but Michigan got their couple power play chances and they took advantage of them. It worked out exactly how it was supposed to. It wasn't over officiated. I think Michigan got 2 or 3 power plays and Quinnipiac got 3 power plays that I know of. Quinnipiac went over. Michigan scored twice on the power play that I know of, and that's all she wrote. So, I think, anybody that's complaining about like the clocks and all this stuff, like, just shut up, just stop. The tournament has been great. Watch the games, be entertained. That that tournament and that style of hockey is more entertaining than the NHL right now. Full stop.
Yeah.
When I switched over after the second game on Saturday night in the tournament, when I switched over to watch NHL, it was boring as hell. It was so robotic and formulaic and just like you knew exactly what each player was going to do. Give me Stanley Cup playoffs, sure, but NHL regular season versus NCAA tournament, like forget about it. It's not even close.
Especially now in the NHL season, like you have some of these teams, they're going to play it so safe. Like 5 minutes left, it's a tie game. They're like, all right, we got to turn this into a 3-point game for all parties involved. And to some extent, I understand it, but it's so boring to watch.
Yeah,
it's lame.
It's like what the Penguins did when they were up like 8 goals. They put their like 4th power play unit out. Like, did you see that at one point?
Had like 3 or 4 points. He had more than Jake Gensel
on the power play. They had Brian Boyle playing on the power play.
It's almost like beer league teams should do that when they get up a few goals. Maybe, pass it to the guys that haven't had that many points this season. I don't know.
What beer league team are you talking about? I've had like 7 skaters all season. How am I going to do that? We don't even have a power play unit. We're trying to just survive, sir.
It's just an observation. That's all. Just an observation.
I have been saying all season though, like the guys that never show up, which there are a few. I want them to come, take warm-ups, and then just rip the jerseys off after warm-ups. Go like, enjoy your night.
Oh.
No.
I never have a problem with people showing up for my team.
Yeah, you have like 100 on your team.
I said it last night though. It's because I have an infectious personality. That's what it is.
That's what I accused you of having main character syndrome.
Main character syndrome.
All the NPCs come out of the woodwork to play hockey with Daniel.
Oh, it's Danny's world.
We're just living
Danny's
in
world.
Right.
That is correct. Well, now you guys know it. That's good.
Daniel's what happens when you put all of your skill points in the shot.
60 skating, 100% shot.
99 shot. Oh my god. But getting back to spring championship season, I know John and I are watching the Isobel Cup Final here between the Connecticut Whale and the Boston Pride. I think it's still tied 1-1. I'm a little bit far from the screen.
I'm a hair ahead of you, but
okay.
yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that for now.
Okay.
So.
And yeah, so that it's really cool that and we don't get paid by ESPN here, but
we would keep the time right.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But well, yeah, I can
we would
push
keep the time.
But you know what? It's really cool that basically all of the hockey is on ESPN right now. The NCAA tournament, they've had that for a while. It's on ESPN. They've had, formerly NWHL, now Premier Hockey Federation, PHF, for this season, which is awesome. They've in the regular season for college, they have ECAC, which is Cornell, Harvard, Yale, all those guys, which is cool.
And a good chunk of the NCAA women's too.
They carry a lot of NCAA women's games across conferences. It's not limited to one conference.
Yeah.
And then they also picked up KHL from time to time, even though we're not like big Russia guys right now.
It got dropped with a quickness. I'll just leave it at that. Because actually, as funny as it was funny you mentioned that when I was waiting for you guys in Pittsburgh, because I was up there already in town for visit family /work.
Yeah.
I was watching the KHL games from that morning. I was watching like Jokerit play Dynamo Minsk. And I actually like the KHL games, but I mean, like we said, we're not going to talk about
We're
them
not.
much now.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah,
But
whatever.
Yeah.
but I mean, especially for people that haven't watched the PHF, like in general, it's a really good brand of hockey. And the one thing I kind of do like about it, as goofy as it is, their games, especially for Saturday when the weather is not nice in the fall and winter, games are like a 2 or 3. So if you're kind of really gearing up for a day of hockey watching on your couch, ironing your couch with your butt, you can turn on a game at 2 or 3. And I did that with a few of the Rivs games, and even just kind of watch the the on demand footage too. Rivs are out obviously, but it's great it's good hockey to watch, and hopefully, crossing our fingers, we'll see like a more unified group moving forward after the end of the season. So, which would be pretty cool. We like seeing growth.
I'll be honest, I haven't watched I've watched a couple PHF games this season. It's just, with kids hockey and everything, it's been so busy. But watching this game tonight, sitting down watching from, opening puck drop through now, it even from 2 years ago, it has gotten faster and more skilled, which I think is awesome. Like, you can see the growth in the game, and we already know, like, through private ownership expanding in the franchises and all this stuff, like, that league is growing, and it's growing pretty fast. Even in just the last 2 years. So, and what's really cool watching this broadcast right now is, they're in the same building that our friends in the Chesapeake Bay Lightning played in their USA Hockey Nationals tournament last spring, about this time, I think April, right? And the stands are filled with kids and families, and I think that's awesome. Like, it's only going to grow the game. It's only going to grow the brand for PHF and maybe these clubs, Boston and Connecticut. The exposure is awesome, and I think they're in for big things. And John, you mentioned about maybe they're working something out with PWHPA, and maybe there's a way to kind of bring the two strategies together for how to grow the women's game, and then ultimately the game as a whole. The PHF right now, I think, is a pretty good brand.
Absolutely.
And a pretty good product on the ice that can bring a lot to the table. So
the cool thing is you have the two groups, and kind of likening it a little bit, for all the hockey historians out there, to the NHL and WHA of years ago. The one thing that came of it was expansion. And I kind of mentioned something on Discord, and in this, I have no insider knowledge on it. I'm not a insider or anything, but like, kind of logically, it would make sense. If they're gonna bring the two groups together, you're gonna need expansion, and it would kind of make sense. Like, you see a team maybe in Pittsburgh or Philly, hopefully not Philly, but like DC, I would imagine maybe even like a team in Chicago as well. Make it. But even too, like, I wouldn't be shocked if Ottawa or Montreal gets another team like they used to. So
if you were going to expand in some sort of like I hate using this word, but like unification of PWHPA and PHF, I think it's probably a Canadian market and then a US market. I think, they're already in Toronto, so Ottawa, Montreal, maybe Quebec City, maybe that works out for that province. Or maybe they go out west, because right now it's pretty much East Coast, right? And maybe they try to move out west a little bit.
Yeah, and do like two divisions. The cool thing is they have a lot of like we said, we're kind of like just chiming in on it from the outside, but like, you have a lot of sizzle because of the success of the Canadians women Olympic team and the American team. But also too, like, PHF has done a lot of stuff. They partnered with the ECHL during their All-Star game.
Yeah.
And also, like we keep saying, like, ESPN Plus is a great platform. It's very accessible for a lot of families. And also, too, it's like an on-demand thing, too. So like I said, oh, your 2 o'clock game doesn't work because you have hockey. Well, I want to watch it at 7 o'clock or midnight or, Monday morning at 9 a.m. when I'm doing boring conference calls, something. So like you have this awesome, accessible resource out there with ESPN Plus. Especially when you're getting TV, that means eyeballs. That's definitely going to translate to more ticket sales, fans, sponsors, all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to that effect, like Riggs was saying, the games are faster and higher skilled than even a year or two ago. That's because there's more money and more exposure going into it. So they're able to pay the players to be athletes full time. I will never get over the fact that when we were watching the Isobel Cup a year or so ago, and one of the players just couldn't play because she had to work. Like she had to go be a police officer or that's not a professional sport. That's not really professional then. So the fact that they have all the exposure and the money coming in now means that the players can devote their time to becoming a professional athlete and doing that as their only job and getting better and thus making the game faster and more skill and more finesse. And I think it's fantastic to see the fruits of that.
There are ways away though from full-time, pro athlete status. Like,
sure, it's not enough yet.
But I think
strides
between there's more private ownership. Willie O'Ree just bought into the Boston franchise. This is big time stuff, right?
And Anthony Stewart and Angela James bought Toronto too.
Right.
So that changes a lot of stuff as well.
This is big time stuff. Like it's no longer that the league owns all the franchises. There's a lot of private ownership coming in, a lot of capital. And those resources improve, the facilities and some of the other support things that are around the players and how they're training in season and maybe even off season. I think off season's probably still, you're on your own for a lot of it, but it's getting there. There's a lot of momentum and there's a lot of potential behind it. So the more that happens, the more that they get exposure through ESPN Plus. They do a great job at social. The more that they get some corporate sponsorship and other partnerships involved, it's only going to snowball from there. And I don't think it's that much longer that they'll be able to do something that there will be some big step, whether it means the partnership with the PWHPA or whatever that is, or they take some big step in the next 5 years or so that just solidifies the league and gets those players closer to that full-time pro status. You can see it happening just in the last couple of years.
So real quick too, before we're done, we wanted to say a big congratulations to one of our listeners down in Canes country, Joshua Leggett, for being voted one of Carolina Amateur Hockey Association's role models of the year. Seems like a really big deal. He helps out with Learn to Play in 6U as a volunteer to help some of the younger players learn that people of color have a place in the ice too. And he's doing amazing work down there from the sounds of it. And we just want to give a big congratulations to him because it sounds like this is a very well-deserved award. We think it's awesome. We think it's so cool. So big congratulations.
Absolutely.
To him.
Yeah.
Yep. Congratulations.
Good work, Josh. And thank you, Jessica, for putting on Beers in the Lot while you drive Josh to and from all the rinks and work and all the different stuff that he's doing. We know that you guys listen a lot, so thank you so much, and good work, Josh.
I do want to read a part of it here, though. So in the thing that we saw, it says that in his 11 years on the ice, Josh has never had a coach that looks like him, and he strives to provide an example that he didn't have and to be a role model for younger players. That is
hell
awesome.
yeah, man.
Keep it up. That is so cool. That's great. Keep growing the game, man. You're awesome. So congratulations.
Whatever you do,
again.
Josh, keep helping out the kids at 6 and 8U. That's the best age group. Once they get a little older, we won't talk about it.
Absolutely.
Stay at the younger age group.
You know what?
Trust me.
You just touched a nerve, John. My favorite time coaching was mites. That was my favorite time because the kids will just show up and play hockey, and then that's it. There's none of the other stuff that goes along with it. It's so awesome. So, yeah, if you want to keep coaching, stay in that group. My advice.
Yeah.
I have one more thing. Like Steve Jobs. One more thing here. Oh,
put your turtleneck on.
One more thing. I don't wear one, John, unlike you.
I'll wear a turtleneck all freaking day.
We know. You wear one on the ice just like Placanets.
Nerd.
Lemieux wore one. He also wore a yellow bucket too.
Yeah, well, when you score that many goals, let me know.
Won't be into a yawning cage, that's for sure.
Johnny, before we started recording, because I'm pretty sure all the stuff that we were talking about before we started recording is not going to make the cut. We were talking about people hanging out after hockey, and I noticed that when I came outside last night, Danny was there, Aaron was there, and then I was like, "Where's John?" And then his truck was gone, and like I was very disappointed.
Interesting. Care to elaborate?
Weird.
Work obligations early on Monday morning. When playing beer league and hanging out after pays my bills, I'll gladly stay as late as you want.
I'd like to point out, John, that Eric's game ended at 9 o'clock last night.
No, it's impossible because I think I got home.
It was
10.
Yeah,
Easy
it
champ.
10.
Easy
Yeah.
champ.
Yeah,
Early
was
night, huh?
Yeah.
It was 10.
Early.
Yeah.
I had to get my warm milk and Matlock was on, I think. I thought the last 10 minutes.
All right, that'll do it for 85. Thanks to those of you who stayed late in this episode. Parking lot MVPs. The realest MVPs are in Discord, though. beersinalot.com/Discord. There's my weekly plug, which means it's time for my weekly thank you to our loyal listeners. You guys are the best. Be sure to check out beersinalot.com for more info on anything. And we will see you all next week. Thanks again. See you.